It began with a noise that might have awakened the dieta-rattling bone clang of a tank driving over a junkyard. Every sparrow in Willow Grove. Estates flew up wings, beating frantically. A dog 3 blocks away began yowling like it smelled the end times. Even old Mr. Hensley dropped his pruning shears wide-eyed looking in our direction. That noise was my grandfather Tom Harlan slamming our garage door with the fury that might make a hurricane cower. But this wasn't just any slamming door. No, this one locked 2 gargantuan commercial vans in our family garage trucks that belonged to Vivian Caldwell, the stiletto-clad clipboard-grasping dictator who terrorized the HOA as if it were a coup. Tom didn't just lock up that door. He tossed down a gauntlet, and it all started of all things with muffins. Crumbly store bought blueberry muffins as dry as sawdust, left on our porch with a note taped to the box. Friendly reminder your trash can stayed curbside too long. Also, I'll be needing your garage for HOA equipment. Storage under temporary Rule 42B. Thanks to most people, this would be considered ridiculous, perhaps even unlawful. Tom had deemed it war. She's laying claim to it. He paced our kitchen gnawing a toothpick as if it had affronted him personally. Next, she'll declare the front yard a common area and convert your bedroom into a community yoga studio. We thought he was being facetious. We thought Vivian was simply flexing her HOA muscles. Then the trucks arrived in a Beast 1, Black 1 gray, no decals but a small HOA logo. Close to the back wheel, Vivian waved from her shiny BMW as they backed into our drive. Bold as brass, the driver stone-faced opened our garage and drove in like it was a Tuesday tradition. Tom fell silent for 2 whole minutisa. Record for a man who once bounced a raccoon out of swiping his sandwich. Then he grumbled 5 words that will haunt me forever. Get me the padlocks, kid. I should have put a stop to him, called someone, talked some sense into him. But when a guy who once diffused a live firecracker with a paperclip in pure stubbornness requests padlocks, you don't debate. You oblige with a speed a 77-year-old. I didn't know they had left in them. Tom secured the garage manual and electric bolts. A steel rod jammed across the frame chains, wrapped around the handles, triple-knotted, and zip-tied as if he were locking up a bank vault. He stepped back, wiped his hands on a rag, and said, "Let's see her temporary rain crack that." 20 minutes later, Vivian sashayed up our driveway in a power blazer, sharper than a switchblade clipboard in hand, smile like a venomous snake. Tom, she cooed, "Those trucks are HOA property." You can't legally before she could get the words out. Tom was on the phone. "Sheriff, yeah. Got 2 unauthorized vehicles on my land. Might be theft, might be spying hard to say these days." Vivian's grin fractured like tacky glass Willow Grove wasn't so much of a hotbed of drama. The most outrageous thing in recent history was Mrs. Larson's documentary getting buzzed on her Chardonnay and attacking the mayor's shin at a picnic. So when Sheriff Boyd's squad car rolled into our cul-de-sac, neighbors poured out like a blockbuster. Opening, Boyd emerged, one hand resting on his belt, the other cradling his coffee as if already dreading the paperwork. He had the truck's Vivian's scowl, Tom's crossed arms, and sedate another homeowner showdown. "Huh?" Vivian charged him, waving a stack of papers that wire of fresh ink and obsession. "These are HOA bylaws, section 12.4. C states," Tom cut in. "They're not equipment. They're trucks. My garage isn't your warehouse, and my grandson isn't your lackey." Boyd glanced at me. I shrugged. "They didn't ask," Vivian whirled on me. "You're a minor. You've got no say in property disputes," Tom snapped. "He's 17, took down a coyote with a shovel last summer. That's more say than you'll ever earn Boyd's head again, all right. Vivian, without permission, you can't park things in a person's garage. Private property takes precedence over HOA regulations." Vivian sputtered like dying machinery. "But I am the HOA. I made up the rule." Tom smiled and I locked it down. The truck did not budge. Vivian was furious. Boyd departed with a plea for civility, but there was nothing civil about what happened that evening. Vivian attempted to cut chains, whispering like a cheap spy. Tom was prepared. He activated the motion-activated sprinklers. She got soaked, slipped into a puddle, and shrieked loud enough to clear the neighborhood cats by dawn. Gossip was wildfire. Mrs. Tate baked us a cake with Team Tom. In icing, someone made t-shirts of Vivian wasn't merely mad, she was scheming. I could see it in her eyes as she stormed to her BMW. But when Tom and I looked inside one of the trucks, curiosity overcame us. No folding chairs or HOA signs like Vivin insisted on just surveillance equipment, monitors, cameras, folders, with names, addresses, violations. Tom's face fell dark. Kid, this isn't merely a power-hungry lawner. This is big, maybe federal. The following day, Willow Grove resembled a suburban. Cold War neighbors whispered, hung around sidewalks, strolled their dogs extra slow in front of our home, in hopes of catching a glimpse of the notorious trucks Vivin Undaunted, marched up at 9:02 a.m., pink pantsuit yelling defiance, and deposited an envelope in our mailbox, an HOA notice of emergency meeting to address our blockage of community resources. Tom read it out loud, laughed for a full minute, then used it to scrape dog poop off the lawn. We're going, he said, but we're not playing nice. The truck remained still, but the surveillance equipment nagged me. Why did the HOA need neighbors' cameras files? Tom had theorized HOA secret government training program. I thought he was teasing until I saw him doodling a conspiracy timeline on a burger wrapper. The HOA meeting was a setup. The clubhouse was filled chairs in a semicircle like a courtroom. Vivan stood under a Community First poster, smiling like a shark. We're here to resolve Jack Harlan's disruption. She started flipping papers. Tom leaned back, sunglasses on indoors. You parked mystery trucks in my garage. Vivian, you're lucky I didn't turn M into scrap. Gasps went around. Vivian, snapped those trucks. Contain important equipment? I had rights under 42. B, Tom didn't bat an eyelid. That law was slaughtered in 2010. I have the original hung in my kitchen. Whispers circulated. Vivian stumbled. That's impossible. I vetoed it. Someone whispered, is that? So her hold on the room was fading. She went nuclear. You have 48 hours to let out the trucks, or else we'll seek fines, service, and privilege loss. Tom stood rummaging out of his jacket pictures of the truck, contents, cameras, mics, folders, with labels of violations. These trucks are a spy ring. Vivan's got half of this room full of dirt. The crowd was in an uproar. Surveillance, is that why she knew about my mailbox graffiti? She fined me for a crack in my driveway. Vivian yelled, all legal inspections. Tom looked at the crowd. Anyone volunteer to be spied on? Silence, case closed. Vivian stormed off, yelling about lawsuits. Our front yard was a war zone. Someone spray-painted Spy Queen Vivan on the sidewalk in neon green. A neighbor brought by a casserole with a wink. The pizza guy gave Tom a free pepperoni pie, saying for sticking it to her. It was almost humorous until we knew we were being spied on. Tom converted our living room into command center. Alpha scattered truck photos all over the coffee table, cross-referencing HOA rosters he'd saved since '98. The equipment wasn't cameras, birdhouses with lenses, frogs with antennas, sprinklers with pinholes. She's got power, Tom said, not only finds control folders, with neighbors' names, some with neutral, others watch her. Ours read, Harlan Contingency Plan. That night we snuck into the garage, cracked open the gray truck, and discovered DVDs of backyards, candid photos, notes on habits, even sicknesses. One file had flagged a neighbor's late bill as leverage. Our folder had a chronology of Tom's HOA resistance culminating with if-triggered engage plan. My stomach dropped. What's the plan? Tom didn't answer, just gave that quiet, dangerous stare. We took pictures of everything locked up and beat a retreat. Tom said, no cops yet. She's slippery. We need the neighborhood. His scheme bait Vivian into a mistake operation. Neighbors I recruited with the Wilsons retirees who adored gossip but despised drama. They left trash cans out, staged a tacky flamingo with sunglasses, and ran a sprinkler on limited hours show. Since Vivian could not overlook, we struck a camera in the flamingo. In the meanwhile, Tom hired a crew to break into Vivian's garage, HOA Nerve Center, on her disco fundraiser. The crew, Mr. Perry, a retired locksmith who vowed he could unlock anything, Lena, who once smuggled a pet turkey into a mall, and Mrs. Cole, a cat hoarder with a grudge over feline-related discoveries, at the fundraiser. Lena's turkey Captain Gobble strutted to disco rhythms, while Perry picked Vivian's lock within Blueprint's violation matrices. A locked drawer, Harry broke it open, and inside were unaccounted fines, surveillance receipts, and a thumb drive marked Vivian's insurance. Tom stole it. The fundraiser was pandemonium fog. machines, glow sticks, and Vivian winning a dance competition, only to walk away after she discovered a note. We know about the trucks at home. The thumb drive showed recordings of private conversations, personal information, even social security numbers. Vivian wasn't nosy. She was operating a suburban NSA. Tom wanted a live catch. We planted a bogus letter in the Wilsons' garbage stating, Tom was selling our home to a condo development that evening. The Flamingo cam recorded Vivian going through mail, taking pictures of the letter. She put out a notice alleging structural issues and cell violations based on bogus information. Gotcha. Tom summoned a park meeting. Dozens showed up with lawn chairs in anger. He exhibited the photos, recordings, files, and Vivian rummaging in garbage. Her face went through shock, rage, and defeat. She yelled about doctored evidence, but nobody listened. Then Ellen, Vivian's former assistant, came forward with her own files. I assisted her. I maintained copies, lived, froze, then stormed away silent. Her empire was dust. An hour later, federal agents rolled up, flashed badges, and read her rights, her data, celestial realtors, insurers' campaigns were federal crimes. No cuffs, just a quiet departure. As phones captured, the neighborhood wasn't done. A tribunal headed by Mrs. Vaughn excluded Vivian from HOA positions and confiscated her records. She appeared in black, unremorseful. I defended order. She said, you'll live to regret this. Booze drowned her out. Tom spoke last. We don't tyrants. We need gardeners. The vote was unanimous. Vivian was absent, but she didn't resign. A drone flew over our block party, camera glinting. Tom threw a baguette at it, missing, but earning applause. Strange notices ensued and signed in Vivian's writing. Tom set a trap, a phony construction site with loud mixers and forged permits. The drone returned. Tom fired a net launcher disguised in a gnome, snagging it in files belonging to a rogue HOA. We sent her phony violations back in a cake box with a note: next time, put sprinkles on them. 2 weeks later, Vivian disappeared. No trace. No goodbye. Her house stood vacant. Willow Grove flowered. The new HOA, volunteer-driven, enacted a sanity clause prohibiting cameras and trivial fines. Tom, resident referee, vetoed tyranny and received free scones cleaning the garage. There was a lunchbox with a cassette. Vivian's voice reciting complaints. You'll miss me, she droned. We laughed, threw it, and went on. Willow Grove didn't require her. It had neighbors who'd mend your gate, watch your dog, and shut out any truck that rolled up uninvited. Tom demonstrated it. Strength is not rule sites. Trust a net launcher and a block that resists together.